All right. Hello, everyone.
Oh, he froze from jump, folks. Well, look who's holding down on this pop culture guy channel presents tonight. For the first time, I'm a special guest hosting, I guess, the show. So I'm supposed to be here, or he would be here with. I'd have somebody to banter with at least. Um, there he is. Andres, I was going to take over the show, man.
Yeah. All right. And it's back. Stupid laptop. Anyway, thank you, Jeff, for holding the fort for just 2 minutes or 1 minute. I don't know. I don't know how many minutes are. Anyway, me and Jeff here, and hopefully Cyber and Stark will be here. Cyber, our old pal over the MCU Bleeding Edge, will be here to review Spider-Man 2. And I got a couple clips to enjoy, and then we have a trailer discussion for the Batman Cape Crusader that's coming out in August. And yeah, Jeff, how you doing, brother?
Good to go.
That's good. That's good to hear. And just right away, we're talking about Spider-Man 2, directed by Sam Raimi, the 2004 film, the sequel to the first Spider-Man film from 2002. 2002. The sequel is 2004. My bad. Starring Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco, Alfred Molina, and of course, a cameo of William Dafoe towards the end of the film, which we'll get into. And and it's 20th anniversary. This year's the 20th anniversary, so it was a good time to maybe discuss this now before I head out for Greece. And first thoughts, Jeff. What do you think about Spider-Man 2? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What's your opinion on this film?
Oh, it's a classic superhero film. Classic superhero film without question. I hadn't seen it since the late 2000s. Back when when my kids used to watch it. When I had it on like VHS. Right. Like that's back then before the MCU got popular. Like was when I was like when my kids would watch it, but back then I didn't even watch it. So this is the first time I've watched it in like I don't know, God, easily over 15 years. Easily over 15 years. So it was really enjoyable. I forgot how high quality the film was. And of course, it's considered one of the best superhero films ever made, or whatever. It is. It's considered one of the films that vaulted. It led to the MCU, and led to the Spider-Man that we have now, essentially, right?
Up to Tom Holland. Yeah, I agree.
The movie made $778 million in 2004. That's a lot of money.
It made that kind of money. A little down from the first movies. $825 million back in 2002, but that's kind of
still a lot. That's still a lot. In 2004, when you take into consider inflation and all that shit and whatnot, cost of living and all that kind of stuff, like 795 million is like a billion, over a billion now, box office wise. You know what I'm saying? But the budget would have been higher too.
It's over 200 billion, so much more than the first film, which is
that number is always false, folks, because that doesn't incorporate the money that's spent to advertise and promote the film. That's nowadays that's usually for an MCU film. That's anywhere between like 100 to 150 million dollars, right? Just on advertising alone. And promos alone, that's how much they probably spent for Deadpool, I bet, and Wolverine. They probably spent 150 million. So that budget's elusive. The money, it did cost more money than that for them to make the movie and put out the movie, right? So I just want to put that out there. Hey, there he is. What's up, Cyber?
Hello.
Hey, Cyber.
Hello.
Welcome,
hey,
sir.
Go to old school. No green screen, huh? You should blur your background and look cool. Have you ever used the blur option on StreamYard?
No, but I know what you're talking about, sir.
It's actually, I like it when people use it. I think it looks really neat.
Like that.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I dig it personally. I like it.
There you go.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, welcome, Saber. First time over my channel, the Pop Culture Channel presents. How you doing, brother?
Good.
Yeah. So, I just asked Jeff on his opinion about the film. So I'm gonna go up to you, sir. What's your thoughts on Spider-Man 2? Do you like it? You don't like it? What's your feelings about this film?
I mean, Spider-Man 2 is a really great film. You had Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, which was really great.
Yeah.
And I thought he was a really great person to pick to play, the Spider-Man villain in this film. I like the whole concept where he loses his powers and he gets them back. He thinks, basically how, I don't have to do this. I could be just Peter Parker again. And I really like that. I like the whole element of it, and I think it even elevated more than more onto what the first film did, and gave us an even better story. And all around, just I think it was a funner film, especially the extended cut. If you ever watch the extended cut, which adds back in some deleted scenes, makes it even way better. Great
Yes.
film.
Yeah, I agreed. I yeah, just to notify people. Yeah, there is a extended cut, Cole Spider-Man 2.1 or 0 or something like that.
I've never
Um,
seen this. I've never seen the extended cut version before. I've only seen the one that I watched today.
yeah, we're talking about that. But I actually will send. I will release a clip on the live stream on one of the deleted scenes that I wish it was in the film, which because it's so funny. Which I people will know what funny clip I'm talking about. That it's not in the film, in the theatrical cut. But yeah, there were some great scenes that in that extended cut that I wish that was in the the theatrical cut, but I understand that because it's pacing. So let's get into this. So let's go. So I'm doing the old-fashioned way, just like the MCU Bleeding Edge movie reviews. So I'm going, sequence in the film. So beginning with the opening titles, which are amazing. They're red this time, not blue or silver like in the first film, but they're drawn in by the awesome comic book artist Alex Ross, which is amazing. I really dug that the Sony slash Sam Raimi brought a really great iconic comic book artist to like draw these like recaps of the first film. If you haven't seen the first film, these awesome like water painting kind of panels that Alex Ross draw for this film is so fantastic. Great way to start this film, and then after that credits, we get into Spider-Man, Peter Parker doing his narration about, his duties as Spider-Man and uh, and how to say it, Mary J, his love of Mary J, while he's doing his duties as a PC delivery. So he accidentally almost hit his boss for the pizza uh, place he's working on, and we noticing right now he's kind of having some struggles balancing his superhero life and his normal life as Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and it's really great here because you can see how like he, he's not this well tight and concentrated person that he was like the first film. So really great start to show what's going on with Peter in these last 2 years as they so that's the in the timeline. So he gets the pieces. He's trying to get the station there, and he decided to like go as Spider-Man to like move quickly to get the pizza on time before the 29-minute guarantee or something like that that his boss was talking about his
It's
business.
49 minute guarantee. 49 minute.
Really? 49 minutes? What? Okay.
49 minutes. Yep.
Yeah, 45 minutes. Saber, tell me, is this right?
It's
No,
49 minutes. I swear to God. No.
no,
No, no. It's
nobody
Okay.
ever had a 49-minute guarantee for a pizza place. It's
yeah,
always half an hour, sir.
yeah. Oh my god, it's such a
It was 49 minutes.
45 minutes. No, sir. It's his guarantee was like 29 or whatever. It's 28 minutes. Stupid guarantee. I don't understand his business. So we get a very funny moment when Peter comes out as Spider-Man. This black guy is there. He's like watching. He's like, oh, oh, damn! This guy stole his pizza. One of the best funny moments. It has become a meme. If you haven't seen that like meme of the guy saying this guy stole his pizza, really great. And then what I really enjoy about this sequence is you see Spider-Man like doing things like, but before he's going to his destination, he has to stop these two kids getting hit by a truck, and he rescues them, and that was really great. This is something I really wish that these modern superhero films do, is seeing our heroes save like at least people. That's always something that I kind of wish that these modern films do, because it shows they're doing super heroic things, you know. Um, yeah,
Unfortunately, with Tom Holland Spider Man, because it's connected to the MCU, they have to do different stuff with his films. They haven't been able to really go in that direction at all with his character. Unfortunately, his Spider
yeah,
Man, they've never been able to really lean in that direction. Like, this was a standalone universe. This was a standalone trilogy. That didn't have to
yeah.
be connected or interconnected or anything like that, or have to deal with Iron Man.
Mm, that's true, but I, I I see what your point is, Jeff. I do agree with you because he was in his early prime, Tom Holland Spider Man. But I disagree. It's always the thing, they just don't focus enough in their films. Like Iron Man, the first Iron Man film, there's a great scene of him saving the villagers from the Ten Rings, the terrorist organization.
That's what I'm saying. They just didn't have time to do that kind of stuff with the Tom Holland Spider-Man because it's different. It's interconnected to the MCU, so they have
Yeah,
to add these different elements into his films, right? These extra layers, and that takes away his ability to just fight crime like on the street. Us to see that, even though he's doing it, right?
yeah. No. I agreed. I mean, we see bits of that in Homecoming. I know you guys review it, but like he does do like super heroics in Homecoming. So there's parts in his films that they
You
do
were you
that.
were on our Homecoming review, sir.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that there's a scene where he does do superheroic things, but they're like small, and it was funny in a Homecoming film. I was in Spider-Man Far From Home, folks. Just let you know. That's where I was review with the MCU Bleeding Edge. Anyway, getting back to that. So, we get a great cameo from a writer. He's actually one of the Evil Dead 2 writers. He makes a cameo. He's the guy that almost eats the pizza. Spider-Man gets the pizza, but and here, this is where he gets to his destination. Some bizarre reason he's in this closet, which I don't understand. Like, was there a window? He, like, I, I mean, I don't know. You guys can,
I couldn't figure that out either. I was wondering what was going on with the whole closet thing with the mop and all that shit. I didn't know. I didn't know what was happening.
yeah, and so I we'll get that, and then we get this another cameo that I wasn't expecting. This is Emily Denoche,
Chanel.
dishing out, right. I for she has a cameo here. This is, I think, before Bones, I think, became popular. So she plays as the secretary, and he's late, and she tells him that he's not going to pay what trying to pay that pizza, and so he lost his job, and then after that we get into um the Daily Bugle. We get Joe Jameson, played by J.K. Sissenbach, who is still funny as always, and he is complaining about Peter not taking Spider-Man pictures. He's getting these these like artist pictures, which is really great. He almost does like a headline of like the city is getting like the food poison thing, and and unfortunately Peter kind of caves in and gives him the Spider-Man picture. And here he does another, like, I don't know what you call it, mistake, or like he forgot he didn't realize that it doesn't cover the last advance check that he did. And so, but and there's a really cute moment where Betty tells him to just keep his head up, chin up, everything will be better, so you see like he's again just struggling and not really paying attention to these like details in his life that are very serious. um After that, he is late for his anniversary, and here we get a really cool introduction of Dr. Kirk Connors. That's right, aka the Lizard, but he doesn't become the Lizard in the Raimi trilogy. He turns into that in the Amazing Spider-Man film with Andrew Garfield. Here, he's played by the wonderful Dylan Baker, great actor. If you haven't seen his couple of work like Happiness, the 1988 film, a very disturbing film. You haven't seen that, or a brief cameo in Requiem for a Dream. He's in the Americans TV show. Many others. I'm forgetting, but like he's a really great actor. I thought he was great casting for Dr. Kirk Connors, and here he's late for the class. Well, the class is over, and Connors will fail him if he doesn't do his fusion paper that Pierre's doing on Doctor Octopus. Or Otto Octavius, but you know, the Doctor Octopus, Doc Ock. So, and he said that he's a friend of his, which is very interesting and very good background checkup for the character. Then afterwards, after that meeting with Dr. Connors, he goes to meet Aunt May, and his birthday was today, so it was a surprise birthday. We get introduction again with Aunt May, Harry, and Mayor Jane. Very great scene. You know, very funny, but also you see kind of like where these characters are at. Like, you know, Mayor Jane is now very successful on Broadway. Like, she's doing very well. Harry is control of Oscorp, and he's doing the funding on Otto Octavius, doing the fusion project, and he will later will take Pierre to meet Doc Ock to, you know, formally introduced for the, you know, the college paper that Pierre's doing. And also, you know, we see kind of the relation, you know, Mary J still is hoping for Pierre to like invent the relation maybe, which we'll get into in the film, but like it's really weird how the relationship are, but like it's very complicated because of the Spider-Man thing. So that was really cool. And Harry, who still hands up on the Spider-Man killing his father thing you see here, and it's kind of putting a wedge between their relationship. And then what's even worse now, we get this really powerful scene where Pierre discovers that Aunt May is getting evicted from the house, foreclosure. And, you know, obviously Aunt May is telling him, yeah, you know, money issues, and obviously, you know, Uncle Ben is not there. And we get this really powerful scene with the actress Rosemary Harris, who plays Aunt May. Fantastic scene where she's giving him a 20, and really powerful scene. Just telling him, you know, there's not much, take it, and, you know, and really sad, you know, just where they at, you know, and talking about how, you know, 2 years from now, you know, Uncle Ben's been passed and, you know, been dead due to the, you know, the incident from the first film, and really love that scene. And this is where I'll stop right here for a break here. Saber, go ahead. Starting from the opening credits to, you know, before Peter heads back to his home. What you thought about this section? And after you're done, Jeff, you go afterwards, and I will be back just quickly. So go ahead and get your opinion right there with this first half. Okay.
Okie dokie. So basically, you know, from the get-go, you know, this film is starts off really, really fun. You know, it kind of reintroduces us to, you know, Peter after 2 years of being Spider-Man. We see him struggling, you know, as, you know, trying to go to school and play Spider-Man at the same time. You know, the introduction to Kirk Connors, which was a really great scene. That gentleman that plays him in this film, I thought did a really good job. I really enjoyed his interpretation of the character. Whereas, you know, Rhys Ifans, who plays him in The Amazing Spider-Man, did a really great job too as well. But you know, still at the same time, I think that the gentleman that they had played him in this film, I think, did a really fantastic job. You know, we have quite a bit that goes on. I mean, we see that Harry's now in charge of Oscorp. We see him trying to create stuff with, you know, Doc Ock. You know, we get introduced to, you know, Doc Ock himself, Alfred Molina, who once again was such a great choice to play Doc Ock because he had that same presence as I feel Doc Ock would have. He just knows how to command a scene, and Alfred Molina just did a fantastic job playing the character. I really enjoyed his interpretation, and I think that his introduction is really fantastically done. Basically, the pizza scene is absolutely hilarious. I crack up at it all the time, every time I watch this film, because it just that 29-minute guarantee. Really, majority of places have gotten rid of that guarantee type of thing, but that was a big thing from like the late 80s.
I remember.
Even early 80s, through like I would say the early 2000s. So this came out in 2004. So I would say around this time, people still had that 29 or that guaranteed time limit to get a pizza to you. And it is now, something that is kind of obsolete. You really don't hear that anymore from places, but I think
nobody does it anymore
because they probably lost a lot of money given that having that guarantee. But that scene is so funny, like, just like him trying to keep this job in this pathetic life of his, even though he is doing all this saving the city all the time. But yeah, he is like, he's reduced to being a pizza delivery guy living in this little shit box apartment. And, he seems like so pathetic in this scene. And it's so funny because you're just like, but you're Spider-Man. You're supposed to be like awesome, Peter. And you're like, but at the same time, you're just kind of like, he's like groveling for this job. And I'm just cracking up like, you really could get any job anywhere, Peter. I think you're pretty a smart kid. So I don't know why the hell you would be doing this. But at the same time, you just like the shop owner is kind of funny too. How he's like, you have 7.5 minutes to get there to deliver 8 pizzas. And you're just like, okay. And even like the trek across when they have have them show the sequence, him trying to get there and stuff. And in the process, he has to stop and do some Spider-Man things while doing this. And you're just kind of like, yeah, there's no way he's getting there in time to get in that 29-minute time frame. Just sorry. It's just not going to happen. So when he like gets there and it's like past the time, you're just like, we just saw that coming. But yeah, that little cameo of Dashanell is pretty funny. This was definitely pre-Bones era. It was, I think Bones started a couple years later. I think it was like 2005 or 6 or something like that when Bones started. And definitely this was like kind of like one of her like early days in Hollywood type of like cameos. Not a very big player, but at the same time, like she still was kind of known because of her sister Zoe. And I think that she definitely was starting to come into her own with this little cameo. But the fact that he's like, he gets into the elevator in the Spider-Man's suit is so funny. And you're just kind of like, you're cool. You're Spider-Man. Yeah, that looks cool. You just holding some pizzas, going up in the elevator. Super funny. And, leading up to, the kind of reintroduction to Aunt May and Harry and Mary Jane and stuff like that. The little surprise birthday party is funny. And you get some really great, personal touches to their characters in this sequence, showing you kind of where they're all at in the last 2 years, how much they've distanced themselves from each other compared to what they were like when they were in high school and stuff like that. So they did a really good job, I feel, of pushing the story forward and give us a good, interesting kind of take on where these characters are at and kind of how they've, changed, altered in the last 2 years. And, finding out, of course, that Aunt May is going to be evicted, you're just kind of like, oh, crap, like, that's too bad, But at the same time, you're like, that's life. And she doesn't seem too worried about it. And, but of course, Peter being Peter, he kind of, it's like, so that, Tobey Maguire, Rosemary Harris, little sequence there is very well constructed. very fun, and I think really well played out by all those involved. And so I would say basically the rest of this beginning intro, you get a lot of great scenes, you get some great action, some great music, all around just a really fun section of the film that I think is just very fun and enjoyable.
Yeah, I dug the early 2000s like alternative rock and pop music and stuff like that they played on the soundtrack. It's pretty dope. But yeah, the him being all destitute is rough. I'd forgotten that it was like that, And the thing with him is Aunt May being all destitute and whatnot, losing her house. That shit's like I was tearing up during that. Like, I was like shaving. Like I wasn't even watching it. I was listening to it. I was like shaving and listening to the movie, and I teared up during that scene, like literally, just because it's so like depressing when she gives him the $20 bill and cries and all that shit and whatnot. It was like it's powerful. It's like it's almost as powerful as your girlfriend, what's her name, getting her Oscar for Wakanda Forever for her speech, Angela Bassett. Yeah. Haven't I given enough or whatever? Anyways, no. So they do a really good job. Sam Raimi does a really good job, and they do a good job with the writing, flushing out clearly that this impact that being Spider-Man is having on Peter. While at the same time, since Cyber already went ahead and got into the Doc Ock shit, I'm going to go ahead and jump in on it too. They do a great job of starting off the relationship with Peter and Doc Ock right off the bat. I like the way they do a good job with that. It's handled very well. With him, actually spending time with him and everything and whatnot through Oscorp, through Harry and all that. It's cool. It's done well, and yeah, Alfred Molina kills it. He's perfect for the character. His adaptation is outstanding, and it all makes sense. The reasoning for him having the arms and all that stuff and whatnot, it's all kosher. It all makes sense. It's all believable within the reality within the confines of the fact that this is fiction, right? It's believable. I really enjoy Harry in this movie. I think that James Franco does a great job with the bit of screen time he has in this movie. I think he does a really good job. And Kirsten Dunst is a classic as MJ, the original MJ. She is. She is MJ, right? So she's like the original. I remember when we used to. Everyone thought that she was going to be. Did she have an appearance in Spider-Man 3?
Yeah. Or which Spider-Man 3? The next one or the No Way Home?
The No Way Home.
No. It was kind of like just.
I can't remember. I haven't watched the movie in a long time. I can't remember.
No. Gwen and Mary J were never seen.
But it was heavily like I remember rumored. Remember Cyber that they were gonna be in the film. We were talking about it all the time on the shows back then. That was like one of the big things that we were talking about. We spent a lot of time talking about Spider-Man 3 on the Bleeding Edge, me and Cyber. Like we killed that subject for real. We did a lot of shows just talking about those trailers and shit like that and whatnot, and like that, all of that. But I digress. Yeah, the stuff with Aunt May is all really good. And like I said, they do a great job of showing, Peter really destitute, which is sad to see. But it unfortunately that's his, that like Cyber said, that's the way shit goes sometimes, right? Like I've been down to my last dollar before. It happens. Unfortunately, it's part of life sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you build up from that, and you rebuild. But I'll stop there.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys. Really awesome. Getting into the Doc Ock thing, because I mean, when you talk about this film, you cannot mention the greatest supervillain that has been adapted to the big screen, and that's Alfred Molina's performance as Dr. Octopus. I mean, this is so much better than the Green Goblin in the first film. Not this, like Willie Defoe was great in the first Spider-Man film. He's amazing, but like this just tops that more, like in a very more emotional and like a Griffin way. And I mean, the action scenes with Doc Ock is fantastic. When we get into the train scene, it's really spectacular. And yeah, I just everything about that is really great. I'm trying to figure out what to mention. But yeah, uh, we'll get into now the next part here. So we, Cyber brought up the introduction of Otto Octavius to Pierre. Uh, they get along and they meet the wife of Otto, which is really great. Great actress too, and obviously they get along. And of course, Otto encouraged Pierre to do poetry to connect Mary Jane, really like convince Mary Jane that she is in love with her, and a very a very, I guess, platonic way. I don't know, but so we see in the next scene in the laundry mat of all places where he's reading poetry and he's doing his laundry, and it was very funny when he takes out his Spider-Man thing. He's so dumb that he forgot to like separate his like white or like his underwear from his Spider-Man clothes, because it got like kind of screwed with the colors. That was very funny. He gets ready to the show, and you see Mary J getting ready for her show, but fortunately, when he was riding his scooter, Pierre uh, gets interrupted by a car chase by these bad guys, and unfortunately he needs to be Spider-Man, and of course, unfortunately, he's late again. He is missing the show. So after defeating the bad guys, he drives up to the show, and how you say it, like the guy say he's gonna toll it. He's like whatever, and then here we got a really cool cameo of Bruce Campbell, who's always funny. Love his cameos in the Spider-Man trilogy. I think my favorite is the Spider-Man 3 one, where he plays this French um, uh, owner of this restaurant that appears meeting up with Mary Jane to engage her in Spider-Man 3. I mean, here this cameo is very funny. Telling
He
him
was a
that
major. He was a major D, not the owner of the restaurant. He was a major D.
oh, Major D. Oh, okay. Thank you. I don't know what kind of role he plays as a restaurant person. Okay, that is kind of cool to know. Yeah. So he's good friends of Sam Raimi. If you haven't seen the Evil Dead trilogy, folks, he's Ash Williams. So great cameo. He tells Peter that he cannot go in. You cannot come late, and he does this thing of shh, because he cannot talk while the show is in progress. And then Peter goes outside, and he's waiting for Mary Jane to kind of like explain the lateness. While he does that, we get this really funny karaoke um, iteration of the Spider-Man theme from the '60s show. That was really great. It was very funny, and we hear that again. Um, and then after this, he sees another crime being in process, and he gets again to suit up again as Spider-Man. And but all of a sudden, while he's waiting, he loses his spider web. And remind people that he has organic webbing than the web shooters from the comic books, and the ones that we see with Andrew and Tom Holland's versions. So he has web organic shooting, and some reason it stops shooting, and he's up this building, and he cannot do the swinging. So he goes pretty much in his costume, goes to the elevator, and he meets a protestant, and they're talking, which is really great. And he talks about how uncomfortable the Spider-Man suit is, which is hilarious. He talks about how the crotch, like it gets really itchy up to the crotch, which is hilarious. Um, After that, he goes. He's picking up the scooter. He calls Mary Jane, and he's telling how the usher, that Bruce Campbell was a jerk, but then he does this really, after the call kind of ends, he does this like off the cuff, like if he is going to tell Mary Jane that he's Spider-Man, he's the reason he cannot be together is because of the MDs probably know he's going to be in danger and all that. Very classic scene of a superhero thing. Then after that, we get back to Doctor Octopus. Here we see him. We're in the presentation of the fusion, and we see here really first time he makes a bad joke about a $20 bill and a rubber band. We have the rubber band. I actually have the rubber band from Spider-Man 2, so I can show you guys. But anyway, bad joke, as Dr. Octavius say. And he presents the tentacles, the four tentacle arms that he's gonna implant himself. Really cool. I didn't notice this. I really like the Lego scheme in the arms. That was really cool. A reference to some of his costumes being Lego, because sometimes Doctor Octopus is green or Lego. Sometimes in terms of his armor, all that. So that was really cool to see that design in those tentacles, and they're uh, staining kind of metals, kind of robotic tentacles that can pretty much not be affected by magnetism or and what other things like fusion while he's doing this fusion thing. So it's very it can do a lot of things not being affected by the magnetism of the this fusion thing, which is very interesting. And then while we're in this presentation, another cool cameo, or I say a very quick actor I didn't realize he's in there, is Daniel Day Kim. He's in this. If you don't know, he's the actor from Lost and the rebuild of Hawaii Five-O. He's the assistant of Dr. Octavius. I never realized that. That was really cool. He's also in another Marvel movie, The Hulk. He's one of the soldiers that comes up to Sam Elliott's General Ross, informing him about the project that Dr. Bruce Banner is doing in that film, and notifying that his daughter is working in that project. So he's in two other Marvel movies. So that's really cool. Anyway, so Octavius activates the fusion, and he does the iconic line, the power of the sun in his palm of his hands. Very iconic scene. And while the fusion is successful start, Peter noticed something really odd. This little clipper goes to the fusion, like the magnetism, and all metal is like getting pulled into this like sun fusion, and that's where it all breaks loose. And Octavius is trying to contain it, but like Harry makes a good point, turn it off because it's really dangerous. Unfortunately, he doesn't listen, and Spider-Man saves him before this equipment almost hit Harry. And then how do you say it? Spider-Man was trying to pull the plugs, and then Octavius punch him to the wall, and then unfortunately the glass gets pulled out, and unfortunately Octavius' wife gets killed. Really brutal. Was really sad. While Octavius sees that, he gets shocked by this like electricity from the sun, and it destroys the implayer chip that was supposed for him to control the tentacles. That get destroyed during that electricity and all that. And after that, Spider-Man saves the day. He pulls the plug, and then all is good. But we lost one Cassidy, so that's really sad. The wife is dead. After that, we get into the hospital here, and this is where we get a really cool, iconic scene from this movie. Of course, the tentacles attacking the doctors. Very like this is where Sam Raimi gets into his horror gig like very well. Like it's very Evil Dead. The arms attacking everyone. It kills one another cameo, director John Landis from Aminal House, American Werewolf in London. He's a good friend of Sam Raimi. He's there in that massacre of the doctors. And after the tentacles kill all the doctors, Otto is awakened and he escapes from the hospital, and then he finds a lair to hide out. Then after that, we go back to the Daily Bugle. J. Jonah Jameson is thinking of a name of Dr. Octavius as the new supervillain. And then we got this really funny thing of like what name we would give him. And Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi's brother, who is Hoffman, and he's just Dr. Octopus. And then Jameson say crap, Science Squid, crap, and then and this is where it was very funny. he brings up Doctor Strange, and very funny because later, Sam Raimi's going to direct Doctor Strange too. And then I love this bit where when he say Doctor Strange, Jameson say, "Oh, that's very good, but it's taken already." And he picks Doctor Octopus, and it's like Doctor Octopus. And then Hoffman say, "I like that. Yeah, of course you do. Doctor Octopus, new villain in town, Doc Ock." And he just scrolls Hoffman because he thinks he's asking for a raise or something like that, and that was very funny. Then Peter comes in, and then I say it. Jameson just beats he like busts his chops because he didn't get pictures of the Octavius attack and all that, and so he gets fire again, but then he ons fire him because he needs him for this event for his son, um Jameson, his son who is the astronaut. Very important character. If you don't know, he actually becomes a werewolf in the comic books, and in the '90s cartoon show of Spider-Man, he's the one, or his shuttle is the one that brings the black symbiote, the Venom, to the Earth in that show. So very cool that they clue his son here, which is great. So after that, well, let's see here. After that, we go back to Doc Ock. We see that the tentacles uh, is controlling Octavius, and it's very Frankenstein. What do you call it? Doctor Jekyll and Mister Hyde, in a way where he's having this like split personality, but like the tentacles are the bad ones, and he's thinking that the fusion thing was working. So now he's convinced to do another one. So now he becomes Doctor Octopus, and will steal. So let me stop here. Before we go into the famous bank fight thing, Jeff, let me go to you first. Um, what you thought about the introduction of Doc Ock, which we kind of discussed, but going up to the part where Doc Ock will claim that he will start this new project again. Go from there.
I mean, I already said what I had to say based off of what Cyber already said about Doc Ock, so I'm not going to really retread anything that we already covered. I'll just say that the hospital scene is a really cool scene. I hadn't seen it in a really long time, so I'd forgotten kind of how crazy it was, but it was a pretty crazy scene. And the dynamic between him and the arms, and him having that component break, right? That was like so important or whatever to him, like having control over them. It works. Again, it sells. Like it makes sense. So I appreciate that. He plays a believable supervillain, within the framework of the story. It's a believable, well done performance, and just well acted. And that's it.
Awesome. Saber, what you thought about the lateness from Peter Parker to Mary Jane show, up to the hospital scene? Tell me about your thoughts on those scenes.
So the Bruce Campbell cameo is absolutely hilarious. Why wouldn't you have Bruce Campbell in your film, especially if you're Sam Raimi, because you did 3 movies with him, and you had a really good working relationship with him. So why not have him again in one of your bigger movies? And him as the usher is absolutely hilarious. Just like how he points to the sign and does almost kind of that miming situation, which was really funny. And I don't think it's quite as good as his Maitre D in Spider-Man 3, but this still was really funny, and I enjoyed it. And I thought that Bruce did a great job in this little cameo, and I think his interaction with Tobey there worked really well too as well. The whole sequence where the material they're working with goes berserk and ends up causing Doc Ock's arms to lose control because that chip gets fried. The death of his wife, like that, is very, very interesting scene. I think it was really done well. The graphics were really decent for 2004. And I think it really showed a great kind of like almost realistic thought process on, like, say if you are somebody that's this brilliant and you end up having a screw get loose because you have this implant that gets fried, how would you react? And I think that was kind of a great kind of template in showing kind of where a person like that would go, especially a doctor of some sort. And I think that was really done well. I was really shocked he had killed off his wife, but that really helped his story progress to make him even go even further mad. So I think that was a good idea and worked really well. There, like I said, throughout this sequence, there's a lot of great fight sequences that worked really well, especially the one that leads up to Peter being late to the show, which was a really great scene. But you get that great scene in the hospital with those great cameos, and when those arms take control of themselves and go berserk is freaking awesome. Very much a horror vibe, like you were saying, which is in Sam Raimi's, kind of his wheelhouse. And I mean, I think that how they maneuvered and used the arms in that sequence was really choreographed really well. They looked really realistic. They looked good. They didn't look CGI. And I think that how they took it out and everything and how they killed people was really awesome too, because that really brought kind of a new edge to Spider-Man. And it being a Sony Marvel production, it kind of took it to a level, giving it that little bit of a horror vibe, making itself different from the MCU stuff. I mean, this came out 13 years before Homecoming came out. So, I mean, it was quite a few years before we got the MCU version. But at the same time, it was only a couple years later that we got the, Amazing Spider-Man films, which were a little different or even more different than this trilogy was. So I think that Sam Raimi did a great job of taking different shots, bringing in his horror element that gave this series and this particular film and that sequence a lot of great, consideration for it being such a great vital scene in this film, and kind of showing that you can do horror with action, with superhero genre and stuff like that. Because if you recall, I feel it was within this time frame here in the early 2000s to, I would say, 2010 or so, 2011, when Kick-Ass came out. There was a lot of those films that came out that were of like a superhero in a very dark situation. And around this time is when the Dark Knight trilogy started coming out as well. We had Batman Begins and so forth and stuff like that, which were very dark. So I really feel that this was kind of a predecessor to that, given that idea that you can do dark superheroes and people are going to watch it and entertain. And I think this scene is a very vital scene that really shows that that's very possible. And I think it was done really well. I'm sorry, where are we going up to, sir?
We're stopping at when Doc is in his lair talking to his robotic tentacles.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, pretty much great sequence leading up to him and his new lair, and I think that really a lot of great scenes there, lots of great comedy, lots of action, and lots of just really great writing. And I think this was really well written film. Like I said earlier, and this sequence I thought was really done well.
So I wanted to mention to Cyber that Reese Ifans is actually really dope on the House of the Dragon, Cyber. He's sick on there.
Good to know.
Yeah, he's great as Otto Octavius. And I don't want to mention this, but it's also going to be weird. He's going to be in the Venom 3 movie. I don't know. Going to be again the Lizard, but we'll see when it comes out. So okay, let's get into the bank thing. So after that God does his like Shakespeare things, like I will restart the fusion, the Pirate of the Sun in my palm of the hands. Like he's ready to be Dr. Octopus. So we go into the bank. Pierre and Aunt May are discussing how to I guess getting a loan from the house. Everyone correct me on that. and we get another cool cameo of this actor from the Community, the TV show. I'm escaping his name here, but he's from the TV show Community. He's one of the bankers that they're talking to, and unfortunately, it, it doesn't go well in the meeting, so they will figure out something, as Peter say. But
Joel McHale.
Joel McHale, thank you. I was like, what his name? Great actor. He's very funny. Um, After that, we get back to this very quick shot of Doctor Octopus pulling off, like, the coat he has of his tentacles releasing. He like, really cool scene. I love this scene so much. Like, just seeing a supervillain robbing a bank, like, even that we don't see enough in superhero films. So it's really cool to see that here in Spider-Man film, with Doctor Octopus pulling the bank vault and throwing it over where Peter and Aunt May is at. Peter runs, gets get ready for Spider-Man, and then Doc Octopus is trying to get the money to, like, fund the fusion machine. And Spider-Man arrives. We see that the tentacles can sense that Spider-Man can come, which is interesting. That's something I never seen in these version of Doctor Octopus, but that was really cool. Um, maybe Octopus can sense danger. I don't know. So yeah, so we get this really spectacular fight of Doctor Octopus versus Spider Man. Really cool. Um, one scene where he's crushing him with his tentacle arms, and then Spider Man throwing chairs and desktops and everything like that. Octavius, after he throws him outside, we see a really great action scene of him pulling some of the cab doors, throwing at Spider-Man, and then after that, unfortunately, Octavius captures Aunt May, and he goes up to the building, and Spider-Man is trying to get Aunt May back safely, and while those two fight, um, you know, in the up the up sky of the building, we get a very quick and fun cameo of Stan Lee pulling aside of a pedestrian from danger, which is the same thing he did in the first Spider-Man film, which was really cool. After that, Spider-Man gets thrown into this, like, I guess, cleaners building, and Doc is provoking him that if he's going to kill Aunt May, he's going to be on his conscience, and of course he has this huge knife from his one of his tentacles, which is really crazy, and he's going to use that to kill Spider-Man. But Ant-Man sees it, Aunt May sees it, and he used her umbrella to knock him out, which was really cool. She did something really great, and then she is safely, um, you know, carried from Spider-Man. But Doc Ock has two bags of, like, huge amount of money, so, like, he has, like, at least money to do the fusion right away. After that, after Peter drops Aunt May safety, we come back to the event, the party event that Jameson mentioned, that it's honoring his son coming back from, I guess, the moon or something like that. Um, so we get back, and here it's really intense. First off, Harry is drunk. He's very angry. After Doc Ock's thing was terrible, and he's frustrated with Peter and the whole Spider-Man thing. And then after that, um, we hear Jameson. Excuse me. We get a really fun uh like just funny things with Jameson, like, just say, like, oh, take this picture of me of the prime minister, and then he made the mistake that the mayor and his girlfriend, but it's actually the wife. That was really funny. Then after that, we get introduced to the Jameson son, and she is with Mary Jane. Mary Jane is the girlfriend for Jameson's son, which he was introduced early in the film, but this confirmed that that's actually Jameson's kid. So yeah, they're together, and then after that, he sees her in outside. He's trying to, like, apologize, but, like, Mary J is not gonna listen to that, and so unfortunately, she kind of just leaves. And after that, Peter gets brutally slapped by Harry because of his loyalty to Spider-Man and not to him. So he gets a really big slap. Very curious about you guys' thoughts on that scene. Then after that, he gets even worse news. Jameson at is announcing the engagement of him and Mary Jane, and that's even worse. So unfortunately, he has to take a picture of the scene. After that, we get this really cool swing of him towards the Empire State Building, but then again, his powers is acting up again, which we see in the bank scene as well. That his shooters were like not functioning just a minute. He falls down. He does his like we see like a recreation of the crawling in the womb thing, and how do you say it, he falls down, and that was crazy. And then after that, he pulls a newspaper, and of course Jameson claims that Spider-Man and Doc Ock rob a bank, so even more pressure on him. Okay, then after that, he see like, oh yeah, after he does that, he goes to the doctor. He uh is kind of asking him what to do. You know, he's like, how to like explain his situation about his like sleep deprivation. You know, like the fresh like the exhaustion he has right now, and that he's like Spider-Man, he's falling down the walls and all that. And then after that conversation with the doctor, he gets we get this really cool like scene with him with Uncle Ben again. So we get Cliff Robertson back as Uncle Ben from the first film, and he is telling him how like, you know, this is your responsibility. You know, this is the gift you have right now. And then Peter doesn't want to do this anymore because you know, it's just taking a toll on him. And then, you know, Uncle Man has kind of like say the famous line as always: with great power is always come great responsibility. And then Peter doesn't accept that. He doesn't take his hand, and is like, oh my god, Peter, what are you doing? And then he quits as Spider-Man. You know, no more Spider-Man. And this is where it's really fun. This movie is adapting a very well-known Spider-Man comic book. This is actually based on the Spider-Man issue. Let me put this up here. Yes, Amazing Spider-Man issue 50. Storyline no more. If my destiny. This is where it's pretty much inspired this film, where in the comic book Spider-Man did quit and it loses his powers at the same time. And so it was really great that they adapted this. And what was great about it, when Peter drops the Spider-Man costume in the garbage, the movie recreates the panel, the cover of that issue, Spider-Man No More, and we linger it, you know, for like a little bit to see the like the spire eyes, and then it goes to blank, and then we get into the montage of um, raindrop keeps falling over my head. Very funny montage of him going back to his life as a normal guy, and so very funny thing. And then, you know, getting better at his college stuff and all that. Then after that, he sees the show for Mary Jane. They discuss. He tells her that he's different now, but you know, Mary Jane is not convinced yet because, you know, what happened. And then after that, he meets up again with Aunt May. They go to, you know, the grave of Uncle Ben, and Aunt May, how do you say it? Let's see. Just trying to get my notes correct. Oh yeah, Aunt May gets discovered of why that Ben did get killed. So, you know, Peter explains that he was trying to get money from wrestling, and he let the, you know, the robber get away that killed, you know, Uncle Ben. Obviously, it gets more detail in Spider-Man 3, but we're not going to get into that. So, and you know, Aunt May, of course, is very shocked about this and goes up. And this is where I want to stop here, folks. So, Cyber, let's start from the, you know, the bank to the part we're ending where Peter is talking to Aunt May about why Uncle Ben got shot in the first film, and that's where we're at in that section.
So this section of the film is really done well, just like the rest of the film that I've talked about before. That bank sequence is really done well. Once again, we get another glimpse of Peter losing his powers, them not working properly. Him going to the doctor and then keep having these issues. He finally decides to hang up the boots and just do him. And we see that great montage where it shows him being happy. He's doing better in class. He needs his glasses again. He's being there for Mary Jane now and all that kind of stuff. And things seem to be, going around. We see him briefly see some like things happening where there's robberies going on, stuff like that. And he goes to do the thing, but then realize, no, I'm not doing that. And, which is really fun. It's a great little evolutional, section of the film that, kind of gives you an idea of, what can happen if you lose sight of what you were truly made to do. And, this really is a great growing point for this version of Spider-Man, this Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And I really enjoyed it. And I thought they did a really good job bringing that to life and giving us that really great kind of funny montage as well, I found in that section of the film. And, leading up to him, basically finally explaining what happened to Uncle Ben and how, it would have happened if he hadn't been there trying to get that money for the car. It, he feels bad about it, but finally he tells her and how she feels about it. We can definitely see that she's very shocked by it. And at the same time, I thought to myself, the several times I've watched it, I'm like, it wasn't like Peter actually shot the gun and killed your uncle, killed your husband. It was just, it was unfortunate circumstances that led to that happening, so being mad at him, I think, is stupid. And I just thought that, her kind of attitude about it a little, I was kind of like, yeah, that's kind of stupid. But at the same time, I get where they wanted to go with it. They wanted to make sure to get kind of a certain reaction from the audience. And I get that. But I still think that they could have done that a little differently, like make her a little more understanding. But overall, this section of the film it's really great. It's really fun, really interesting, and I think it has a lot of great parts to it that were super entertaining.
Awesome. Jeff, the bank fight scene to the confession that Peter does to Aunt May.
The bank fight scene was pretty solid. All the Aunt May stuff is all really good because that actress plays a really good, solid Aunt May. She's a really good Aunt May. So I mean, all her scenes are really great. The fight, the bank fight is really solid. Toby, they do a really good job with Toby Spider-Man, when he does fight scenes and stuff like that, whatnot. It looks really good. And that all that looked really good. And seeing him give up on Spider-Man, but like having his life get better makes you feel better for him, But yet that he's gonna have to go back to Spider-Man, like eventually, like he's gonna have to, it's interesting, a part of the film, him like Harry getting like more crazy with his Spider-Man shit, like just adds another layer, another dynamic to the film, to like their dynamic, their relationship when he starts sweating that shit all the time and whatnot. And then he actually, adds fuel to the fire with Octavius. But I'll stop there.
Okay. All right. So let's go back. So after that confession, I think we'll see here. I'll just put him in this here. Yeah. So we get one quick scene of this. I'm kind of curious. Let me ask you questions about Mary J here in this film. Do you think she was very selfish on Pierre's part? Like, because she does this scene where she is trying to recreate the first Spider-Man film where like he's upside down and they kiss, the upside down scene, and he does it. She does it with her boyfriend Jameson, where he tells him to like lay back in the pillow and do like upside down kiss, and I feel like that really. What are you doing? Like, I feel like she was a little harsh on Pierre here in this movie, but she gets really worse in Spider-Man 3. But what do you guys think about Mary Jane here in this film? Do you think she was tolerable, or like you like what do you think,
I
Jeff?
have I have nothing to say. I mean I thought she was fine as Mary J. Or
Okay,
as yeah, she was okay USA.
Cyber. What do you think? What I'm saying here? Like, you think Mary Jane was a little too harsh on him, or it was reasonable? What do you think?
Oh yeah, I definitely think that Mary Jane was way overreactive at everything that happened in this, and I equate that to Kirsten Dunst's acting, because she can be good, she can be in the middle, and she can sometimes just be awful. And she has a knack for playing pretty much the same type of character, pretty much anything she's in. And so I think that was more of like just how she presented it. It could have been better if it hadn't been either a different actress, or if she had just presented it a little differently. But definitely, I felt that way throughout this whole entire film with her, as I felt she was very unfair to Peter, and that it's not his fault that he got blessed basically with this gift. It just happened, and that he's doing with the pieces he was given. So it's kind of like, you need to get a hold of your life, Mary Jane, and you have to take responsibility for yourself, is basically my thought on her characterization. So I think that, yeah, I definitely agree that I think she was unfair to Peter.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm the same boat here. I don't know. I mean, also the thing that is really weird, she knows that he's Spider-Man. Like even the first film when they ended, she kind of had like they kissed towards the end of the film when he was Peter Parker with the funeral and Harry's father, and it's just very funny that she never comes out and say like, "Hey, I know you're Spider-Man." It's like how many more evidence you need to know that he's Spider-Man. But anyway, that's my thought here. Okay, so we get back. So after a while, we get after that scene, we get back to Pierre. He sees the newspaper about 75% crime up, and we get this really terrific scene of him going into the fire, trying to save the little kid. Really great scene. I mean, very practical, which is crazy. Um, really great heroic scene, and then really gun punch there is that someone from the fourth floor didn't make it. Really sad, and now he's kind of struggling. Like he now realized that he had a responsibility to be Spider-Man, and then we haven't mentioned up the rent people, Mr. Gitovich, funny character. I love his quote. Where's my rent, Jeff? Where's my rent? So he just trolls Pierre about the rent. It is so funny, and he has a daughter who kind of likes Pierre, and she kind of barge in this scene to offer him like a cake, and then which is good cake. And then after the cake thing, he gets a message that Aunt May's moving out from the house. He meets this kid that he knows that's like 12 years old, something like that. A really great scene. They kind of like buried the bridges about that confession. He's very proud of him. She loves Pierre. That's like her own son. Like I mean, despite their grandparents, they're like really the parents for Peter, in this universe because the parents die. And here this scene is really great because she starts doing her really great call about dreams and like everyone needs a hero, and like one of the best like Ant-Man speeches ever in this universe.
Everyone can be a hero or has a hero in them or some shit. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. Oh wow, you really like that scene. Okay, I got you to that. um yeah, I love that scene. I'm sorry Spider-Man fans. I'm sorry Jeff, Spider-Man fan as well. I was getting, I'm getting to that point, so yeah, so she says, that famous line that people love, and it's still great to this day. Like it hasn't like dated, which is really great. Like it really still holds true because it is true. A hero is really inspiring people, and despite the sacrifice they're doing, with their dreams and all that. And I really agree on what Aunt May say. It was really great. After that, he's trying to get back to Spider-Man, so he does the stupid thing where he runs off this high building, and he thinks he's back, but then he falls down here and he breaks his back in such a funny and comedic way. And very fun tip here, trivia here. Um, that scene is very funny because actually Toby did hurt his back. I think we already discussed this in Spider-Man Far From Home, maybe, I don't know. He got injured, and then there was speculation that he could not come back as Spider-Man. So this is where Jake Gyllenhaal comes in. The rumor that he was going to be Spider-Man back when this movie was in production, but it never happened. Instead, it, they made, like, they kind of figured out the deal and all that. So, like, but it was very funny that Sam make a scene about the back, and also we got a reference to that in No Way Home when Toby is saying that he's having some problems with his back, and then Andrew helps it kind of fix it with its super strength and No Way Home, which was funny. So after that, we get another quick scene with Harry. He's like trying to find where Spider-Man is, and then after he gets like here, this is where I really appreciate Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi is really back into his horror roots with Doc Ock, as I mentioned before. Like, I like how he builds the suspense and tensity of Doc Ock arriving to the scene. And so Doc Ock arrives at Harry's home, and he tells him he needs more of the tritium, that like rare material that creates diffusion. And he tells him where, like, if he give me the tritium, give me Spider-Man for the deal. And he tells him that Peter knows Spider-Man. So now we go into this scene. Peter gets a call from Mary Jane. They discuss, and then this is again typical um, romance drama 101. They're saying that their minds is playing tricks and all that. So, and he asks her, which this is where she's kind of become really bad here. Like, he's asking him to kiss her. The fact that she's engaged, but okay, whatever. So they almost did, and then all of a sudden, Peter's spider sense tingle, did right there, and the car hits them, and Doc Ock arrives, tells Peter to call Spider-Man, get you know Spider-Man to meet him in this tower at 3 o'clock. After that, he pushes him off to a brick wall. He captures Mary Jane, and then Spider-Man is back after Peter realized that he has his full strength again. So he runs to the Daily Bugle to get his costume back. And this is where we get the funny scene with Jameson saying, I pushed Spider-Man away, which was funny. And then Hoffman say he's the only one that could stop Octavius. And he does this like glary eye thing. It's like, yes. He, to Hoffman, so annoying of his assistant there. And then, of course, he does the turnaround here where he sees Spider-Man in his costume, and then we get this really cool newspaper that he's back, and then that's right there. He meets up with Doc Ock. So let me stop there. What do you guys think of the scene where Aunt May does her famous speech to the part where Peter gets the Spider-Man suit back from the Daily Bugle? Starting with you, Jeff.
Well, Cyber go. Cyber go.
Okay, Cyber. I know you're smoking. Jeff, Cyber, go.
So, I mean, the speech from Aunt May is pretty basic. She has to kind of replace Uncle Ben because he died in the last one. So it's kind of, you were expected some sort of speech from somebody in the film to Peter. So who better than his Aunt May, who is still around? And it's a decent sequence. It's, fun. It's interesting. Definitely you get a sense of where Aunt May's at and kind of how she's come to terms with Uncle Ben's death. And, you kind of, Peter kind of gets that pick me up he needs for his mind to start moving towards the right direction to get back to being Spider-Man. So I think that scene is very poignant for the story to move along. Leading up through that, I mean, we get a lot of great scenes there, that were really done well. Lots of action, lots of fun, lots of little tidbits going on here and there with all the different characters, leading up to, Doc Ock showing up at that restaurant where, Mary Jane and Peter are, and Peter gets his full powers back again. And, that scene is really great. The car being thrown at him, which we saw in the trailer several times throughout when that trailer was released in 2004 and 2003. And, that scene is one of my favorite dodges for Spider-Man out of all the films. That was done really well. And then him getting thrown through the brick wall was really awesome too. And he busts out of it, having his full powers. He takes off his glasses again and he can see again and stuff like that. He's feeling re-energized. He's feeling Spider-Man again. Him taking back the suit after, J. Jonah Jameson has it. And, after he takes it back and then he's back to Steeler, which was absolutely hilarious because J.K. Simmons is the perfect freaking J. Jonah Jameson. I was so happy when they had him pop up in No Way Home and in the very end of Far From Home. That was great to see him back because that character is just iconic. He always will be J. Jonah Jameson to me. He's just so good at it. And just that was a great sequence of events that really, moved the story along, bringing us to, towards the very climactic end.
True. Jeff, you're next, buddy.
I like the scene where all the people, where Spider-Man crowd surfs, and the people are all holding them up and shit in the air and everything and whatnot on the subway. That shit is hilarious, bro. It's hilarious. Spider-Man crowd surfs.
Oh my god, you silly dude. You silly man.
What? It's hilarious, bro. It's hilarious when he's all unmasked and shit and whatnot.
Oh my
That's
god.
past what we're talking about.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. No, so
Oh my god.
yeah, it's all good build up. It's nice to see that MJ and Peter are kind of able to rekindle something again, and so that there might be potential for that to, them to be together, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
You want that to happen for Peter, right? For his character. The whole thing with him and his powers is interesting. It adds another layer to the film that's interesting. Him having to fight for MJ because she's been taking it, all that kind of shit. And him, getting his full powers from that makes sense. It's a good story and it's a good movie.
Yeah. No, thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate that. The losing of the superpowers thing is very interesting to do with a superhero. It's very classic from the Superman movies, from the Christopher Reeve films. Superman 2, he loses his powers because he wanted to be normal with Lois Lane. So it's really cool that Spider-Man 2 did it here, but also borrowing that from the comic books, which is great. So I really appreciate that. Let's take a. I have a trailer, but it's not a Spider-Man trailer. I'm working on that trailer right now. So as always, I always mention in my description, we always discuss geeky news and trailer discussions, and we did have one new. That's the Batman Cape Crusader trailer. We finally have a release date. That's August 1st. Just like the Fallout, the TV show that we discussed over at the MCU Bleeding Edge for the weekly discussion, it's going to be dropped all at once for August 1st. So let me pull up the trailer now for you guys to kind of take a break and refill some drinks here, and then we'll come back and do the wrap up for Spider-Man 2. Okay?
How long have we...
Asking the question on everyone's mind these days, what do you think about the Batman?
I'm frightened. This whole city's gone to hell in a handbasket.
Well, he's breaking the law, ain't he? So they ought to catch that freak and lock him up.
I won't say it's gonna be easy, but catching criminals is what we do. So this one dresses up like Dracula, so what? We're gonna take him down. What do we know about this Batman?
He's been beating the tar out of muggers and dope peddlers out there the last few weeks.
He's mostly been seen at night driving that hot rod of his 100 miles an hour.
And now he's even attacking our brave police.
Nice car.
This man is not a hero, he's a criminal. And his time in Gotham is up.
Mischief afoot, sir?
3 explosions in 2 weeks. Peculiar. There's something more going on here.
He knows too much. He's an itch that needs to get scratched.
The kings don't run this court anymore. The jester does.
Bang! Look out! We could be looking at
An all-out gang war on the streets of Gotham.
This is a losing battle. 100 other monsters will show up to replace anyone you take down.
Probably. But now they'll all know I'm coming for them.
Wow, that was spectacular. Cyber, you had to go, sir. Give me your final thoughts on the trailer and plus your rating of Spider-Man 2, and then we'll give you get you out of here, head out. Okay.
Okay. I mean, the trailer looks interesting. Definitely a very it'll be interesting to see a new series from Batman in animated form. I know the Batman animated series was really popular in the 90s. And this gives me several of that vibe coming from that animated series. So it'll be interesting to see just what Matt Reeves and J.J. Abrams does with this, too. If it brings any of the elements from the movies at all into this world, which will be interesting. My final thoughts on the film and rating. Great film. One of my favorites of the Tobey Maguire trilogy. Really enjoy it. Can't say enough good things about Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. I loved him as the character. James Franco is fantastic as well, and it's just a really well-rounded film. I give the film a giant 10. I give 10.5 to the extended cut. It's a really fantastic film.
Thank you, Saber. I want to say thank you to Saber for coming tonight. Thank you, brother, for coming. It was really a pleasure to have you on my channel. Finally, the three amigos were here tonight. Thank you so much. I'll let you go. I will plug your channel and all that towards the end of the live stream, so no worries. I just wanted to get you out of here on time and all that. So thank you, sir, so much to join us.
Thank you. It's great seeing you guys, and I'll see you on Wednesday.
All right, Cyber.
Bye-bye. Ciao.
Peace.
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 So, Jeff, now it's just you and me. Give me your thoughts on the Batman trailer, and then we'll
I don't really have any. The trailer was good. I enjoyed watching it. It was entertaining. It looks like it'll be a fun show to review. That's pretty much all I got.
Yeah. And just quick wrap up for me here. Great trailer. This is produced by J.D. Abrams / Matt Reeves. Of course, Matt Reeves, who did the Batman movie back in 2022 with Robert Pattinson. So I'm very excited for that. Plus Bruce Timm. Bruce Timm from the DCAU content is back again to produce this as well. So you got really three great people involving in the Batman Cape Crusader. So it was really great. So just last thoughts. We're going to view it as weekly, just like we did with Fallout in August. So yeah, and it's going to be released on August 1st. Okay, let's get back to Spider-Man. And Jeff, I just want to say something to you, brother. I converted that to the MP4 thing that you showed me, and I put it on the brand. So I just want to let you know that I did. I'm so proud of myself that I actually did it.
Good job. Good for you, sir.
So, anyway, this is just very happy I got that done. Right. Anyway, so Spider-Man, Doc Ock is gonna fight in the train. We get the really spectacular train fight sequence. Fantastic. The special effects is just so spotless here. It's really fantastic. The highlight of the film, and I think this is the reason why this film won the Oscar for best visual effects back in 2004 is because of this sequence alone. It's just fantastic. You see how Spider-Man is trying to stop Doc Ock, and you see how Doc Ock is trying to exhaust Spider-Man so enough for him to like contain him, and so which he does. And obviously, Jeff brought up the thing here. Um, uh, uh, of
He
the
gets knocked out and he gets like crowd surfs.
crowd surge. And so like so before that happens, the people sees his his true face, and they will they told him that he's going to protect his secret identity, and which is really nice. So after the crowd thing, whatever Jeff is saying, you know uh Doc Ock captures him, gives it to Harry, and then after Doc Ock gets the tritium, Harry, discovers that Peter is Spider-Man, and he's so shocked, he's so dramatic, and it's like, come on, dude, like it's kind of obvious Peter is Spider-Man, but anyway, um, so we get back to Doc Ock's lair, and he's starting the machine, and Mary Jane is captured, and then here we get another spectacular fight with Doc Ock and Spider-Man, and really great sequence, and then Spider-Man takes off his mask, telling Doc Ock that how to stop it. That he grabs him to the neck with his tentacles, and then Peter does the speech that um, Doc Ock say that the knowledge, the knowledge, the brilliance is a gift, and it should not be wasted. And then he brought up the other quote from his Aunt May about those that were sacrificing goes for his dreams, our dreams. And so that was really good. Called back to and he now has not only is trying to control his tentacles, and he does, and he has the theory that to stop the fusion thing is to drown into the water, and so he's going to sacrifice himself, to drown the fusion machine. And then here, Mary J finds out that Peter is Spider-Man, and then while everything's crazy, that the whole layer is collapsing into each other with the fusion, Doc Ock successfully drowned the thing, but unfortunately he sacrificed himself, which is really sad. Peter and Mary J have their talk. He cannot be with her. The police arrives. Mary Jameson's son arrives, and we see him and Hoffman together, which I didn't see. I didn't cut that on when I always watched this film when I was a kid. And then after that, we get back to Harry, and this is directly from the comic books. If you know the Green Goblin stuff, Harry gets this weird laugh, and then he turns around in the mirror. He sees his father in a hallucination thing, and they argue that he's weak and he needs to revenge him. And after Winnie the Pooh screams, "Revenge me!" and he throws the knife at the mirror, and he sees a secret entrance where he sees the pumpkin bombs, he sees the goblins technology, the formula, the enhanced thing, and so that sets up the future that he will become the Green Goblin, just like the comic books and all the medium you see in Spider-Man stuff. And then after that, we get the wedding, and then Mary Jane has second thoughts. She pretty much leaves her boy Jameson in the church, saying that he has to go. She runs to the streets in the wedding dress, and she beats up Peter Parker, and she agrees to be to be together no matter what the danger she's facing, or the Spider-Man thing. And then we get this great ending of Spider-Man swinging to action in a great way, and then we get the last shot of Mary Jane looking worried, and what she has done, and a commitment to that. So Jeff, tell me about the great action sequence to pretty much the end of the film. Your thoughts?
It's just really good. What can I say? It's a good film. It's a good action scene. Doc Ock's character is serviced very well with the end, and everything. And it was really great to see MJ come back there at the end. and say, you know, what? Well, how about somebody saves your life for once or whatever? You know what I mean? Like it was nice.
Yeah.
You know, and I liked it when the neighbor gave him a piece of cake too. That was cool.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's all you got. Okay. Well, I love that she say, go after them, tiger. That was really great. That's her furry's line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really great. Um, yeah, and I was, I was a kid. I was so surprised they did the Green Goblin thing, tease, because Harry does become Green Goblin for real in the comic books after Norman gets killed, and so it was great, great setup. But it gets really bad in Spider-Man 3, which is really sad. But whatever. So yeah, before we do the ratings, I have the Spider-Man trailer. If you don't mind, we can show it and just look at it, if you want. Right now.
I believe there's a hero in all of us. Gives us strength, makes us noble. Even though sometimes we have to give up the thing we want the most.
Parker! Where you been? Looking for you all morning.
You're late.
Always late. You're fired.
Look at you, Peter. Your grades have been declining. You always appear exhausted.
I know, I'm trying.
Where you been, pal? You don't return my calls.
I've been kind of busy.
Taking pictures of your friend. Spider-Man killed my father.
No matter what I do.
Do you love me or not?
No matter how hard I try.
I want Spider-Man dead.
It's the ones I love who will always be the ones who pay.
I can't keep thinking about you. I'm getting married.
I want a life of my own. I'm Spider-Man. No more.
You look different.
I let things get in the way before. There was something I thought I had to do. I don't have to.
I like seeing you tonight, Peter.
Now on to the main event.
Octavius is going to put Oscorp on the map in a way my father never even dreamed of.
Crazy scientist turns himself into some kind of a monster. 4 mechanical arms welded right onto his body.
You took Spider-Man's pictures. Where is he?
It's ticking me off your loyalty to Spider-Man and not your best friend. Bring Spider-Man to me.
How do I find him?
Peter Parker.
Find Spider-Man, or I'll peel the flesh off her bones.
There are bigger things happening here than me and you.
Awesome. All right. Great trailer. I hope you guys. I want to say thank you guys who seen this live stream. Thank you so much for joining me, Jeff and Cyber, for this awesome 20th anniversary of Spider-Man 2. Let's get into rating, sir. What's your rating for Spider-Man 2?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, god damn it. And anyway, no, I'm doing something else. Anyway, 10 out of 10 as well. Fantastic film. Great. I mean, great sequel. One of the best superhero sequels ever. I really enjoyed
yeah.
it. Yeah. And I mean, this is much better than the Amazing Spider-Man 2. It beats Far From Home for me, unfortunately, because this movie just hits you.
Yeah, it's better than Far From Home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Far From Home really wasn't that great.
No. I don't hate it. It's just.
I mean, I only saw it the one time in the theater, but still, like, I thought it was just okay, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It just didn't have the emotional investment like this movie has, or like what Homecoming has, and that was like a very annoying thing in the in the movie. But yeah, let's do some plugs here. I'm just showing the comments here. Sorry about that, folks. And thank you, Anti-Inatic. Thank you for coming. Sorry, we're pretty much wrapping up right now for the show. So let's do the plugs here. So let me do first, Jeff here. MCU Bleeding Edge, great channel. Please join us on this amazing week we have here. Tomorrow, as Jeff said before, we're going to be in the House of the Dragon live stream over Jermaine's channel, 10 Eastern. So we're going to review what episode? Episode 4? Yeah,
episode 4 on Fantasy is Reality.
Fantasy Reality. So, which is really good. And then also Wednesday we got the Acolyte episode 6 review. I'm not going to be there, folks. I'm sorry. I'm going to be back again for episode 7. I seen episode 6. It's nothing, but no, it's not like it's nothing. It's like it's really nothing, and so it's not worth reviewing. But anyway, that's my opinion. Anyway, so that's what Jeff and Saber are going to do on Wednesday. As Saber left, no, he brought up the Acolyte for Wednesday. Friday, we're going to do the Lord of the Rings review. We're starting the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which is great. Sort of a lead up to the Rings of Power show coming soon. Which I need to get into. I actually seen the extended edition last week. Really great. I'm gonna see you again this week for Friday. Please join us. I'm gonna be there. And yeah, that's the
that's our week.
That's our week. Oh, let me put Cyber channel here. Cybernetic. Jeff, could you pull his channel for me? Could you like it in the chat and I could pull it up, sir? Yeah. Yeah, and if anyone knows what I'm doing, after this, gonna post my top 10 Richard Donner films. I'm gonna finish up my comic book read of the Cartoon Network Super Secret Crisis, and then of course I'm gonna do Spider-Man 2 related content. So I'm gonna do my retrospective / review of Spider-Man 2 and the movie tribute as well. So that's what I'm going to do for this week before I head out for my vacation in 2 weeks. So thank you, Jeff. 7-8 shark. Oh my god, he has a logo of the shark. That's crazy. All right. Also, guys, I also want to plug Cybernetic Shark. Thank you so much for coming, sir. This is his channel. He's up to what? Oh my god, 1.11k subscribers. Great channel. Please check it out. He does a lot of like what I do, but differently. He does more older / modern movie views. He does trailer reactions. Not yet live streams. He does shorts here. I see he's doing The Abyss. He did Independence Day 1 and 2. He has done The Mystery Man, which we did on Friday. Check the last thing we did on Friday. He did the American Pie films, and he did the Quiet Place Day 1, which I seen last Tuesday. It's a great horror film, one of my favorites for 2024. So please support him. Please support me as well. Help me reach the 100 mark. Thank you so much, everyone. Jeff, anything else to say before we hand out?
Nope. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next.
Thank you. Have a good night. Peace out, folks.